Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, we are from Group 4, and in this opportunity, we will explain about the popular methods in teaching English as a foreign language. It called Language-Centered Methods. But before we start our explanation, I would like to introduce our member. First, Shela Martika, and second, Saniatul Maslucha. So without wasting any more time, let's move into the topic that we will discuss in this opportunity. The topic that we will discuss in this opportunity is first, the definition of language-centered methods, and second, the branches of language-centered methods. The branches of language-centered method, namely grammar translation method, direct method, reading method, audiolingual method, cognitive method, and last, eclectic method. So, let's move into the explanation.
Definition of language-centered methods. According to Anthony, 1963, in Shela Martika, 2001, a method is a set of procedures. In example, a system that spells out rather precisely how to teach language. Methods are more specific than approaches, but less specific than techniques. A knowledge of methods is part of the teaching knowledge base. Language-centered method is one of several methods that teachers can use in teaching or learning process. This method is divided into grammar translation method or GTM, direct method or DM, reading method or RM, audiolingual method or ALM, cognitive method, and eclectic method. Well, language-centered methods or traditional language teaching methods are divided into 6 parts. The first method is grammar translation method. The definition of this method is the oldest method known for teaching a foreign language, and it was called the classical method since it was originally used in teaching Greek and Latin. This method emphasized mastery of knowledge about a language and did not aim at mastering productive skills or speaking and writing. Techniques. According to Larsen-Freeman 2000, the techniques that used in grammar translation method are translation of literary passage, reading comprehensive questions, antonyms, synonyms, cognate, deductive applications of rule, fill in the blanks, memorization, use word in sentences, and composition.
Second, direct method. The definition of direct method is a response to the criticism received by grammar translation method, because grammar translation method is not very effective in preparing students to use the target language communicatively. No translation alone is the fundamental rule of direct method. Therefore, the student's mother language should not be used in the classroom. According to Fahru Razi 2011, the characteristics of teaching learning process that use direct methods are: first, lesson began with a brief anecdote or dialogue in target language. Second, the material presented orally with action or pictures. Third, the mother language is never used. Fourth, the preferred type of exercise is a series of questions in the target language. Fifth, grammar is taught inductively or according to Larsen-Freeman 2000, the techniques that use in direct method are reading aloud, question and answer exercise, getting students to self-correct, conversation practice, fill in the blank exercise, dictation, map drawing, and paragraph writing. Then let's move into reading method. The definition of reading method is selected for practical reasons. For people who do not travel abroad, reading is the one usable skill. However, this method was criticized because it looked like returning to the GTM. According to Fahru Razi 2011, the characteristics of reading method are: first, The objective in priority order are reading method and current and historical knowledge of the country where the target language is spoken. Second, only the grammar necessary for reading is taught. Third, minimal attention is paid to pronunciation. Fourth, from the beginning, a great amount of reading is done, both in class and out class. Fifth, the vocabulary is considered as fast as possible, since the acquisition of vocabulary is considered more important than grammatical skill. Six, the vocabulary of the early reading is strictly controlled. And 7. Translation reappears as respectable classroom procedure. Next, audiolingual method. Audiolingual method emerged as a reaction to the weakness of reading method. The audiolingual method is an oral-based approach that is more used through use in situation. This method trains students in the use of grammatical sentence pattern by means of conditioning, helping learners to obtain sentence pairs from target language. The goal of teachers who use this method is they want their students to be able to use the target language communicatively. According to Larson Freeman 2000, the techniques that used in audiolingual method are: first, dialogue memorization; second, backward build-up or expansion drill; third, repetition drill; fourth, chain drill; fifth, single slot substitution drill; sixth, multiple slot substitution drill; seventh, transformation drill; eighth, question and answer drill; ninth, use of minimal pairs; 10th, completed dialogue; and 11th, grammar game.
Well, the next method is cognitive method. The definition of this method is a reaction to the behaviorist features of the audiolingual method. The characteristics of this method are as follows. There is an emphasis on communication or communicative competence. Language acquisition is seen as a rule. Pronunciation is de-emphasized. Group work and individualized instructions are encouraged. There is a renewed interest in vocabulary. The teacher is viewed as facilitator. The importance of comprehension errors are seen as inevitable byproduct of language learning. The written language repetition in and of itself is discouraged. There is contextualization of all teaching, and the use of the mother tongue and translation are permitted. There is increases interest in the domain, and bilingual bicultural proficiency is seen as an ideal goal. The last method is eclectic method. We have the definition and principles here. Eclectic method emerged as an alternative method to solve the weaknesses of each method as discussed above. There are some general principles or attitude, some conclusions that are drawn from current research and thinking in the field. Language learning must be meaningful, real. Translation is so specialized language skill and is inappropriate for the beginning language learner. Language learning should be done in the target language. Mimicry, memorization, and pattern practice do not teach language. Reading aloud or oral reading, while useful during the decoding stage, vocabulary acquisition, the use of a large and varied vocabulary should come early. Reading and writing should not be delayed but taught as soon as the student is ready. Although structures is generally accepted as being most efficiently taught in some organized way, and most students' errors are not caused by language interference. Alright, that's all our explanation about popular methods in TEFL, language-centered methods or theoretical knowledge. I hope our presentation will be useful for us. And the last we say thank you for your attention. Have a great day and see you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.